And thanks for doing this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And I want to begin. I kind of want to be. I'm always honest on my channel. I say what my experiences with bands and stuff like that. It's actually I'm a relatively new fan to Evergrey, and I got to check out a Heartless Portrait album, which I thought was actually fantastic from the beginning to the end. I really loved it. It was the person who I can say I'm a new fan coming in and came away really really impressed. I just wanted to right away congratulate you on what I thought was a really good album.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Thank you.
And it seems.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm just. I'm happy when people like what we do.
Well, it was a quick follow up. I started doing a little bit of research on the band. It was a very quick follow up from Escape the Phoenix. And what was the reason for that? Was it maybe due to the pandemic or lack of touring?
Right. Yeah. We released the album, and well, the situation in the world being what it is or what it was, there was no touring to be done. So we had a meeting where we said, well, what are we going to do? Are we going to wait for this pandemic to
subside?
To subside, and you never know when that'll happen, if ever, because we didn't know. Or are we gonna just go back to our writing dens and continue to write and see what we can come up with? So we decided to do that instead of just sitting around twiddling our thumbs and doing nothing. We decided to start writing again.
For fans, I would say from a fan's perspective, it's almost been like a renaissance for heavy metal, because we've gotten so many people releasing albums back to back so quickly because you guys have had the extra time. So partially from our side, we're really happy, but also it's like, man, it's hard for the bands, because it's hard on the pocket. So you're not touring. We want to see you guys live in the concert, and it's kind of been just hit, and it's finally opening up, finally concerts coming back, which is I'm really really happy about.
Yeah, me too. But obviously I understand that if everybody's touring, everybody's releasing albums, it's gonna be hard for everyone. If there are shows like every single day or every weekend, you have to hold on to your hard-earned money.
Of course,
I definitely get that. So,
but even from a creative standpoint, like how do you guys come together in a year? It's like, I understand, for example, a pop album or a rap album can be produced because they don't have they buy their own beats. There's things that happen, but with heavy metal or rock, it's just so much effort into writing the music. How you guys were able to produce something so fast, and I would say such high quality as well?
Thank you. I don't know. I guess we're on a roll. But seriously, since Jonas and Henrik came back to the band in 2014, the vibe in the band has never been better, and it's getting better for every record.
Got it.
And for the past, since the last record, we just seem to be in this creative stream, so to speak, and it seems to be just keep digging.
Keep digging.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, also just even a kind of a related question, being in the industry, in the music industry for a long time, and playing with the same band, or just doing music for such a long time, where do you pull from? I'll say personally for you, what do you pull for inspiration and things that kind of get you to that next level all the time, really producing to the best of your ability? Where do you pull that, inspiration from to get the passion for it, so you don't lose the passion for it?
Yeah. Well,
because I feel like, it's like, I'm a personal trainer. Anything you love, it could be the thing you love the most. and you do it in a long enough timeline, it's there's a high probability that you can lose some of the passion for it, and you almost have to rediscover it. It's almost like with your significant other, you fall in love with again over and over because you find new things to latch onto almost.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, I like to listen to a lot of different types of music, and so I don't listen to just heavy metal, or I have kind of a
all over.
wide variety of different music that I like, so I can pull inspiration from anywhere, but also just sitting and trying to write something every day, because even if what you write today isn't maybe the best riff or the best chord progression that you've ever written, it's something that you have to get out of your system to get to the next idea that hopefully is better, or or maybe that doesn't work either, or you write shit for a week, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, here it is.
This is something good.
Yeah, I really believe that you have to work at it.
I've heard that actually from Phil Demo from Violence. He said the same thing. He's like, I'll sometimes just, for the sake of not forgetting how to riff in a certain particular way, I'll just kind of mess around. And I don't write it down or anything like that, but it'll be the thing that gets me, again, to come up with ideas for something that later on can become a song.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes. I kind of pictured that you have a very a wide interest because of just all the bands you've been in. And especially like somebody like Therion, which I really, really love. And actually, one I don't see being talked about enough is the Demonoid. I was a really big fan of.
That's been a while.
I've always been like the old hardcore. Like I need to search out for something that nobody knows about, but a lot of times it could be a gem. It's a gem of music, and sometimes it's just a little bit difficult to find. But you mentioned that you have a variety of interests, and may I challenge you with saying, what off the top of your head, what were kind of the most influential bands for you? Maybe like top 5 influential bands that really just kind of had you pick up and play music in the first place?
Oh, in the first place? Kiss, Iron Maiden,
Oof.
Metallica, what else? Early on, Scorpions, Alice Cooper, old stuff, Van Halen, all that good stuff.
All really good choices. I'm a big Kiss fan.
Yeah.
I don't think, I mean, with everything, all the controversy surrounding Kiss, I don't think they deserve all the praise for, as musicians, everything they've done, which I think in many ways inspired a lot of metal looks later on, along with what Judas Priest obviously have done as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I really enjoyed when I was listening to the album, I was enjoying almost how every instrument was really produced. And I was enjoying the bass, the chunkiness of the bass there. It provided, I thought, along with Jonas' kind of drumming, it provided the harsher sound to the more melodic and beautiful moments of the album. And what I wanted to ask in terms of songwriting, I don't know if it's perhaps Tom who writes most of the songs, how the songwriting in general happens, and how does the balance come about of having this very nice blend of heavy and kind of soft and melodic?
The songwriting is a bit, basically it's all over the place. It could be one guy coming in with a riff. I have this one riff that I think is really cool. Can we do something with it? And either we all get fired up and we do something with it, or it's like, no, that's a cool riff, but we'll save it for we'll record it, so we'll have it saved for later. And some maybe it shows up as a solo section, or or an intro riff or whatever. It could go from that to coming in with basically almost a complete song in certain cases, that we just have to figure out which section is which, and if this is a verse, maybe that has to go, this part maybe has to be doubled, and if that's the chorus, maybe we should do tweak it a little bit. So there aren't any really hard fast rules to.
Very improvisational.
Yeah.
Very improvisational.
Yeah.
It's been cool, something to discover. I never pictured that as a fan before starting a channel and getting to interview some of you guys. I've always pictured, we for some reason think it's like this super structured, super formulaic, or like we need to sit down and do this now. It's so cool to see how freeing and improvisational it can all be. And sometimes it's a happy accident. Sometimes it's just one riff that turns into a whole song. And sometimes you just have the idea right from the get-go.
Yeah. It's for us anyway. It's very.
I gotta say, you also have very hardcore fans, because I remember I did a song before, and sometimes when you hear one song, you might not connect with it right away. And I kind of said like, I mean, it's cool, but I don't know. And I just kind of the fans came out with, dude, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You have to check it. And you know what? I'm so glad they were right. It was one of those moments. It's where you have a prejudgment, and then you later on to go to really discover, like, holy crap, this is really good. To me, this happened with Bathory, actually. Coming out of Sweden, I've heard first, and I'm like, I don't know about this. What is this? A year later, I'm like, how did I not like this?
Yeah, I had the same experience with the first time I heard Opeth, actually.
Oh my God,
I heard it on a Swedish metal radio, and they were really, this was around Blackwater Park, and they were getting a lot of write-up in Sweden, getting really popular. I heard a song, it's like, I don't know, is it folky or is it death metal, or I didn't know what to make of it.
Yeah,
but I love Opeth.
Sometimes it wasn't easily digestible, perhaps, on the first listen, and then
exactly.
That's the album I jumped on with.
Yeah, it's like I just didn't get it at the time. I had to listen more and kind of see where they were coming from.
Well, I'm happy to know I'm not the only one. Okay, so I don't feel so bad anymore.
No, hell no.
And what I was going to ask you also is, again, being in the music for a long time, the kind of the game has changed. It's changed in many, many ways. And as a musician, how do you feel about this change of the social media / YouTube age of music? I would even say, can you give me something that you think is overall? Do you think it's a positive? It's a negative? How do you feel about it overall?
I'm a bit torn. Yeah, because I mean, the good things is that social media is a great platform. If you have a band, if you're a solo artist, you can easily get your music out to people. And if it's a negative thing, the problem might be that there's so much to listen to.
Yeah, overloaded.
It's easy to kind of get lost in the in everything. So it's I think it's harder to get heard.
Yeah,
in a way.
Even for veterans, sometimes a veteran band will have, like you guys, sometimes, I mean, you guys been doing really well, but there's bands that are considered to be like the holy grail of certain genres, and nobody knows about them because there's 20,000 other albums that came out that year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you have a computer at home, which most people do, then you can record an album, basically. Yeah. And you can easily set up a Bandcamp account or whatever and get your music out to Spotify without having a record label. So there's a lot of music available, but maybe you never hear
Yeah,
because it just gets lost in the great scheme of things,
And it must be very difficult financially too, because I'm starting to understand a lot of metal artists tell me it's like it's not the labels even fault. It's just they don't get anything because there's no more physical sales. It's all streaming, so you really become over reliant on touring, and it can be just a very tough life with a family, with everything else that's going on with you. You become, it's because this doesn't happen in pop. It doesn't happen in the rap because they can tour a lot less in much bigger stadiums. And they can actually have somewhat of a remnants of a social life, whereas metal artists seem to be on the road all the time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's really that's where the money is nowadays. It's touring, merchandise, because like you said, people don't buy records anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame. I still remember, I come originally from Russia myself. And for us, it was going to the bazaar in the market, which would be a black, it would be black market music. We wasn't allowed to listen to that. So you would go to the market, look through the cassette tapes, and you would have to buy things based on the cover. So I remember buying like a Manowar cassette tape because the cover looked really cool.
Oh, cool.
So for us, it's like we do have this attachment to the cassette tapes, the CDs, the vinyls, and all that kind of sort of thing. And I got to tell you, man, Sweden has been really good to us in 2022. We've gotten Sabaton, Meshuggah, we got EVERGREY, Ghost, Dark Funeral, Bontaine. It's a question I always ask specifically for some reason about Finland and Sweden. It's the home to so many great bands. What do you think it is about the country and the area in the country that's producing so much talent?
I don't know. We've, at least in the past, we've had a good. There has been a lot of opportunities for kids to start bands. There has been a lot of places to practice. There has been places to play, and it's has slowly been declining, of course.
Yeah.
But so I think we've had a history of encouraging kids to play.
And in that style of music, right? In the rock genre, they've been kind of encouraged, or
or like in general.
In general,
it's you can actually attend music class from 4th grade or something if you want to play an instrument. You can do that, and it's not expensive. So I think that's one thing, and also maybe the fact that it's half the year it's snowy and dark. There's nothing else to do but to practice. Either you play you can play hockey or you can play music.
I find it just because look at the United States, we should have so many different bands coming out, and it's actually, I would say it's not as much when you come to Sweden, and when you come to the legendary, I would say what would be like the top of the top kind of bands. It seems, like every year a new band comes out from Finland or Sweden, and they're already really fucking good. They just, I feel like there's something also culturally happening there as well, because there's a lot of what I think, there's talent, I think, all over the world, but something just kind of garners that kind of environment and nurtures it, where other places just kind of kill it, and it's dream killers almost. Because I think in New York, I can tell you, it's 100% of mentality of you have to make money. That's how everybody does everything. If you don't make money, this is not even worthwhile. Don't be an artist, don't be a musician, boom, kill it. Whereas I think perhaps maybe it's a little bit different coming to Finland and Sweden.
Probably. They're more of a supportive environment, I would say. For sure.
Another band I should have named, but this is classic rock. I believe Slade. I remember they're from Swedish. Another great band from Slade.
I think they're English.
Oh my God!
Or
wait,
British.
This, there's so many bands. Our father raised us on all the British, Finnish, Swedish, like all these classic rock bands that came from that part of the world. It's like we all grew up on that music, so already have a particular love for the whole scene in general. But you're right, they are English. But what I was going to say,
great though.
Yes, they're amazing. I love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a musician, also another thing I like to hear, because you always hear very, very different answers. What has been your most proudest moment as a musician up to this point in your career?
Well, being able to do this for so long is quite the accomplishment, I would say. But personally, I have to say that playing with Jeff Scott Soto has been a highlight of my career. I'm a huge Yngwie Malmsteen fan. I used to run home from school to listen to Marching Out, the second Yngwie solo record, and I got the opportunity to play with Talisman, Jeff's band that he had with the late Marcel Jacob, and he unfortunately took his own life a number of years ago. And but they wanted to, they got an offer. Talisman got an offer to do like a tribute to Marcel Jacob show at Sweden Rock Festival in 2013, I want to say 14, something like that. And I know the drummer and I know the guitar player, so and they wanted me to play. So you know, sharing the stage with Jeff Scott Soto is yeah.
Must have felt really good.
Oh, you have no idea. It's a childhood, you know, it's a dream come true. It's like, oh, I can't believe it. Yeah. So that's a highlight for me, for sure.
That's really cool, because I also built up a lot of musicians in my head to be very different. And it's so nice talking to you guys. And it's always feeling like I'm talking to a friend, or I'm talking to somebody just at the bar. And it becomes so much, you feel like you get much closer to them. And there are personalities that could be very, very big, but generally speaking, metal artists, no matter how big they get, they always stay the same 20-year-old kid they were when they started playing music, which I think is very endearing.
Yeah, I mean, that's I'm still the same way at you know, festivals. When we, you know, go play festivals and you see someone you know, you recognize, like, oh, that's Rob Halford. Oh, you should go and say hi. No, I'm not. No, because it's Rob Halford, and
Yeah.
you know, or you know, whomever, you know, Billy Sheehan or you know, Paul Gilbert. It's like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah.
No, I'm too much of a fanboy.
Yeah, I've had one time where I had to kind of hold myself back. You know, you'll get to talk to somebody that you've only imagined talking to, and you have to hold yourself back because you don't want to come off as a fanboy, but you end up still doing it.
Yeah.
I also saw that you guys are touring, but it seems to be predominantly Europe for the most part. Are you guys doing anything, you know, for the fans? I obviously want to ask this question. Are you planning anything for US, Asia, Middle East at all?
We're talking about it. There's not anything set in stone yet. We have this, yeah, we have a European tour booked in September, October, something. And if that happens, that'd be great, because you never know.
You never know, yeah.
But I hope to, you know, visit the, you know, North America, South America, everywhere. You know, we'll play anywhere that will have us.
Well, again, your fans, that's one of the reasons I sometimes pay attention to. I'll sometimes might dismiss something. You might give a review to something that you felt a particular way about in that day. And when the fans come out in waves and waves and waves, it forces you to reanalyze yourself. You have to be honest with yourself and be like, maybe I was wrong. And to see in what kind of strength your fans come through, I think is one of the biggest kind of pluses to, like, oh, I see what they were talking about. I see where they're coming from and where the love for the band comes from. So it's, first of all, shout out to your fans. A big shout out to you guys. I mean, thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you.
And I wish you guys, I mean, I'm Russian. I can't do without toast. I wish you guys the very best. Let them, not just the European tour, let all these tours happen for you guys, and perhaps I'll see you in New York one of these days.
I hope so. That'd be
Thank,
great.
Thank you very much for doing this. Enjoy the rest of your day. I know you're 6-7 hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you so much. You too. Thank you for having me. Bye.